You want to look like this when you go to your next event? Well, you can. We are doing 3 different types of looks using one palette. You can either choose one of the 3 looks, minimal, romantic, or glam, or you can start minimal when you go to work and end up like this when you go to your event. So if you want to know what all this is about, let's get to it. Hello, Tia here, wig coach, wig educator, and owner of Tia Maria Wigs. This month we are doing all things special events, bridal, all this type of stuff. So this is a very fun makeup tutorial. I put up makeup tutorials here and there, and I really wanted to put this up and show you an evolution of how you could go from sort of a minimalistic look like I have right now to a more dramatic look using one palette. And especially if you need to, say you're working and you have a special event to go to like later that evening, how you can sort of add on to your existing makeup to build into a more dramatic look. So if you just want minimal, great. If you want to be able to build on because you just worked all day and now you're gonna go to your fun special event, we're using the Huda Beauty New Nude palette, which I think is perfect for a lot of different skin tones, and there's so many different textures in here, so there's so many ways to go and to build. So you're going to see this look here, which is the first one, the minimal one. Then you're going to see more of a romantic, and then you're going to see a dramatic. Okay, so I'm going to keep coming back and adding on. I may have different wigs on here and there, but I'm going to be adding on, and you're going to see how I did the base look and then how I add on to it to get a little bit more zhuzh or dramatic or whatever out of it. So I hope you enjoyed this type of video. If you do, let me know down below. I'll do more of these, and check out all my other bridal special event related content that we're doing this month. And yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so let's get into part 1. But before we get started, I'm going to show you everything that I have on my face right now, so you know kind of like what we're working on with the base. So as we go through this video, we know what I'm adding and why. Okay, the first thing was the skin prep. I use my regular skin prep that I always use. I use the Fresh Black Tea Advanced Age Renewal Eye Cream. I always use this. Okay, love this. Has helped with my dark circles. It is pricey, not gonna lie, but it has worked, so you know, it is what it is. I'm also going to use my Pina Colada lip butter really quick. This is something that I get from a local small business called Erie Bubble & Co. I will link them down below. But their stuff, I love their lip balms and their shower steamers. I'm obsessed. Okay, so then I use this Polish Choice Boost. Okay, so I use that all over my face after I do my eye cream, and then once it sinks in, the skin cream that I'm using right now is the CeraVe Skin Renewing Day Cream with sunscreen and retinol. So that's my skin prep. That's what I do every day. So special event or not, I would do that anyway. All right, so then on my base, to start this out, I used my Shape Tape color corrector from Tarte in Peach. I use this under my eyes. I don't have to use it as much. I used to have to use it a lot because of my dark circles. I also use it above my lip because I do have melasma, which is a discoloration of the skin, usually based on heredity and sun damage. So it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. On top of that, I use the Tarte, and right now this is the creamy version of the Shape Tape. I'm obsessed with Shape Tape. I'm 47. I don't care. I love this. It's always worked for me. I don't find other ones that I feel work as good, so this is what we're using. And they have 3 versions of this. This is the Ultra Creamy, and this is in the shade 27N. So I use that just under the eyes, nowhere else. And then I set my under eyes and just right above my lip, just because, you know, you're doing a lot if you're drinking coffee or eating or whatever, or just sweat. I do have oily skin in general, so that's another thing to keep in mind. Oh, but before that, I used a combination of the Peach Perfect from Too Faced, which I'm pretty sure is discontinued. This was the shade Toffee, along with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh in the color medium 80W. I mixed them together, and that's what I did for my base. And I always set my face with the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I have 2 of these. So this one is Fair 10, and I use this one just for under the eyes. And then the other color I use is the light medium 20, and that's what I use to set above my lip. I also set right here just in between my brows because I do pencil my brows in, and sometimes around the laugh lines, but I don't really care about that stuff. So, and then for the brows, I do a lot to my brows in general. I have a full brows playlist, but if it was a special event, I do start with the ColourPop Tinted Feather Effect Styling Wax. It's so disgusting. It's like what they use for like the soap brows or whatever. I use this not a lot because it's waxy, and again, I do have oily skin. I just kind of use it to get my hairs in check. I don't have a lot of natural brow hair, but I'm really trying to go in deep with the brows. Sometimes the hairs can be willy-nilly, and I don't like that. So on top of that, I use 3 pencils. I use the LA Girl Slim Shady. This one's in the color Warm Brown, basically to get this underline going, the outer line, and really that's it, like the shape of the brows, how it's gonna look, because it's kind of light on my skin. Then I went in with the Anastasia Brow Definer in the color Soft Brown, and that's where I go in and basically do a lot of strokes and things like that. If I wanted to deep it up, which I did, I used my favorite, which is the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. This is 3.5. I usually prefer 3, but I don't have it right now, so it is what it is. And because I felt like it was a little bit dark, I went back in with a little brush, and then I set my brows with powder in general because, again, I do have oily skin. And I'm using this ColourPop. It's called the She's Natural Pressed Powder, and it had like 3 colors in it. It's so janky. Like, literally, I have a rubber band on it because I broke it, but I like the powder in here to set the brows. So like if I need to lighten the brow up because I went too heavy handed, I can use this color. This is obviously my normal color, and if for some reason I need to darken it up, I can use this one. And you could use this light one to do any highlighting if you wanted to, so I really like it for that reason. Finally, I always set my brows with this, which is the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. I actually use it where it has like a flat side and like a little bristled side. So I use the little bristles to comb up, and then I use this flat side and I actually set it all on the entire brow to sort of laminate that whole brow. Okay, lot to the brows. I have a specific thing about brows, and so that's what I did. And then because this is part 1 and I want to do kind of minimal looking makeup, we are doing the butter blush from Physicians Formula. They're butter blushes and bronzers and stuff. This is in the shade Rosy Pink, so I just went in a little bit, so I have a little bit on the cheeks. Normally I would be going ham with the blush, highlighter, and things like that. We're gonna add this on, but I want to show you how you can go from sort of a more minimalistic type look and then just add to whatever you have for your special event to go darker using the same palette and everything. Because sometimes, especially if like you're a guest, you might be at your like regular day and then need to go and be glam quickly. So this will also help in that respect. So that's what we're working with just in terms of like the base scenario, and then we're going to be adding on. So I am using the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. This is a perfect wedding type palette. I haven't used this palette before, however, I have used Huda Beauty. I have a full playlist. I love her eyeshadows, especially this specific format. I just think it's really stunning, and it's perfect for sort of wedding, and this is good for a lot of different skin types. So we're going to start basic, and then we're going to keep on adding until we're very glam. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do, like normally I would start going in and really detailing this outside of my outer lid and getting the dark. I'm not usually minimal, so let's see what happens. So I'm going to just take this flat brush, and we're going to start out with this shade called Play here and put it all over the lid. And I'm just going to smooth everything out. On my skin, it's not super dark or anything, so we're going to go all the way up kind of to the brow bone. Set a base, and again, this is going to be pretty minimal, and we're going to be adding on. So I do want to set that base so that when we put other shadows on top of it, they will blend nicely. And I'm going to get all the way into the inner corner. And again, if you're slightly different skin tone than me, this shade may show up different than it does. And we're just going to do the same on the other eye. I'm pretty much like, listen, I go ham on everything. When we start using the darker colors, I probably will put some additional powder underneath my eyes, especially like if you're going to be adding on after you've already done your base and it's like sort of, you know, later in the day. You don't want to having all kinds of fallout because you don't have the option of like redoing your face. So we're just going to shape the eye. I do have some straggling brow hairs. We'll worry about those another time. You'll get the idea from this tutorial what we're going for. So we have a gorgeous little base, nice peachy pink tone. And I'm actually going to go underneath the eye because I do think that that's really important for me. I think it kind of pulls the look in. And I'm going to start with that same shade and see, which it was play, and see how dark it really is, if it's dark enough at least to start, or if we have to do one shade darker. It's not too bad. I think we can start with this one. We're going to be adding on, trust and believe it. So you can see kind of like with the shade, without the shade. It'll become way more noticeable as we add other colors. So if I wanted something just simple and beautiful, I wouldn't go very much farther than this, honestly. I'm going to go in with this corner brush and I'm just going to highlight the inner corners because I think that opens up the eye. It's important. We're going to go in with the shade called Bear and just in this inner corner just to pop the inner corner a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Just to open up the eye just a little bit. And then we're going to add liner and lashes and we're going to be done. And we'll probably add a gloss or something. And that would be sort of the part one of this. I always use a liquid liner. So no matter what I would be doing, I'd be using this liquid liner. I'm going to use the ColourPop BFF liquid liner in the color black. And I'm going to try to get as thin as possible because we're going to go through here and sort of accentuate. Normally I would do a wing. So why don't we start with like a tiny wing because we can extend that if we need to. Okay, and again, normally I would have a wing that would be pretty winging right now, but we're gonna do it this way. So we just have a tiny wing that we can extend, okay? I'm gonna put on some lashes. What I wanna do is, so I have a bunch of Sephora collection lashes. To me, I normally am like, basically the bigger the better the lash. So this is against all my better judgment to go a little chilled out, but we're gonna be adding stuff in. So we're gonna start with the Sephora collection lashes, number 33, called Swanky. We're going to start with these ones and then we're going to be able to build on top of these or switch them out or whatever we want to do. So I usually cut my lashes in half in general. So let's just look. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut just a little bit off of the front or the back. So I'm going to get my little tweezers to pull these off so that you don't rip the whole lash. Yeah, it does seem that the inside and the outside are kind of shorter, so it doesn't really matter which side I cut. So we're just going to pull these out and I'm going to cut them in half. A lot of times when I cut lashes, I count. So you see how it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like where there's little sections. So I count to make sure that I'm getting it slightly equal, although your eyes aren't really equal. So it looks like I have a cluster of 4 that I'm going to use for this side and then a cluster of 4 for the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to put the stuff that I cut in here because we're going to use these later to stack onto this if we want to add more lash. That's a trick, okay? So I'm going to use this Kiss lash glue liner. I also have a lash glue liner that I sell on my website as well from a different brand, but it's sort of this like felt tip. I carry this around everywhere because although I feel like sometimes it's not as strong in terms of just wearing lashes, It's a great little touch up, and it works well in tandem with regular lash glue because it's kind of like stickier, but it takes a minute to dry down, and like there's no real stick, and that can be a problem, at least for me. But we're gonna start with this. Because we just took it out of the package, there is still a little bit of like stickiness on here. And also we know that we are going to be adding on lashes and maybe switching out lashes. So I don't want it to be too sticky. But I carry this around with me because you know how sometimes like a corner will lift? This is so easy to like stick in there. You can also use it as like a liner too to help it stick. And just put it right over your existing liner and then stick it on. Sometimes for me, lashes will flip down. So I'm going to curl these up. I need a little bit on the side or I will feel naked. And that's kind of what we're doing. For some people, this is great. This was the Luxe lip gloss from ColourPop. It was a collaboration that they did in the shade Wildflower. It's gone, but it's just a pinky nudie gloss. And for me, I like to have like my lips a little bit outlined. I know some people do, some people don't. This is just me doing what I'm doing. So I'm just going to take the ColourPop lippy pencil in Cool Beige, and I'm just going to do like the Cupid's bow and right underneath. And that's all I really need. So this is the first sort of special event look. Normally I would set my face, but since we are going to be adding products, I'm not going to quite do that. But I do use the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Don't love Morphe, but I do love that particular product. And can you see like right here where it's like the line is going down since I put the lashes on? So what I'm going to do is flatten my eye out a little bit and just make it so that's more pleasing to my eye. There we go. That's way more pleasing to my eye. It's not like all right. So this is the part 1 look, and I will be back. I'll probably have a wig on. I'm going to do some other content, and then I'm going to add on to this look. We're going to add on 2 more times. So we're going to do sort of a minimal, maybe like a glam, and then a dramatic. Okay? All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I am wearing Balance from Belle Tress in the color Sumptuous Strawberry, both discontinued, but I just filmed a video basically on why you might want to consider color for your special day and how best to do that. So you want to check that video out. So we have our base look. Now I want to get romantic. So what we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to clip back the front part of this wig, and we're going to add to our look with the same palette in order to bump it from minimal to romantic. All right, so I'm going to go in because for me, romantic can mean sparkly, maybe not as deep. So I want to add one of these like sparkly shades on the lid. I think will help it go to that, in my mind, romantic place, but I'm just not sure which one, because these are the type of shades that they look one way in the pan and they look different coming out. So I'm going to start from the beginning to the end in terms of these sparkly shades, and let's see which one I like the best. These 2 here I think are a little bit too chunky for just a romantic scenario. All right, so it's going to be starting from this shade, this shade, this shade, and then this shade. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. For me, I think it's going to be 3. I don't love shades that do this where they go from pink to gold on me, on my particular skin. I just don't like how it looks. All right, so we have our base, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to use my finger, and I'm going into number 3, okay? And I'm going to start just in the center and tap this on and see what happens. Yes, we're going over the liner. It doesn't matter. We're going to add more liner, okay? I really like that. I feel like we might need a little bit more. So let me take it from the inside to the center. Okay. Oh yeah. And I think I might add a little bit more on the outer corner. Maybe the second one. When you're talking about these like sparkly shades, and especially like duochromes, a lot of times these soft shades just work better on your finger with the warmthness of your finger. They just tend to blend a little better. You can use a brush if you don't want to use your finger. Okay, I feel like it's added a little bit. So we're going to take that same brush that we did the inner corner, like the light color, and we're going to go into this shade. And I'm going to mix it with that first shade that I said I didn't really like, but I think mixing it together will be nice. And we're going to press it into that inner corner so we have more of a pop on the inner corner. I'm going to get my powder brush because some of it did fall down. If you're really worried about it and you don't want sparkles on yourself, go ahead and press some loose powder up under your eye, do the addition, and then wipe it away. I also bring this into like more of a half moon type scenario. So it kind of goes on the bottom lash line. Let's deepen out the outer corner just a little bit and then add some on the bottom, but not a ton. So we're going to go ahead and use, I think, this shade right here, which is called Tickle, just to add a little bit of depth and romance, but not a ton, because we're gonna go real dramatic pretty soon. So we're just gonna sort of tap it just on this outer edge. We're gonna meet the sparkly shade that we already put down, and then we will go ahead and add this onto sort of the lower lash line. Oh yeah. And just use a little bit of this. This is really like the perfect special event palette. You can go all directions with this, and I'm really glad that I scooped it up. I have other of her larger palettes like this and love every single one of them. I'm going to go wash my hands really quick, and then I'm going to go over the liner again because we put a little sparkly on it, add a little bit of highlighter and a different lip. So hold on one second. Okay, I just saw this look in the bathroom mirror and I'm already in love. So we're going to go back over with our eyeliner that we were using and just darken up kind of what we put sparkle on. And I'm just going to extend out the wing a little bit, not a lot. And we're actually not going to do a different lash. I think this is a good lash, and we'll stack the lashes when we're doing more of the dramatic look. But I think winging this out a little bit, there we go. Not, like I said, not a lot, but just a little. It's helpful. So what we're going to do is I want a little bit more romance on the cheeks as well. So we're going to go over the initial blush that we used with this Laura Geller Blush and Brighten in Berry Trifle. And this has a little bit of shimmer in it. So we're going to just go over right on the apple of our cheeks, and we're just going to deepen this up a little bit more. Get a little bit more romance. Okay. And this is sort of taking the place of like actual highlight, but I really enjoy this. So we're going to do that. And then we're just going to add a little bit of bronzer, not a lot. We're going to use a little bit. And I'm just going to use, I love these Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This one is in light bronzer. It also smells so good. So we're just going to put a little bit right here on the sides of our face. I always go like sort of back so I don't get too much. And then right along the hairline and maybe a little bit on the chin. That's it. We're not getting crazy. We're being romantic. And then I'm just gonna push these lashes up a little bit, and I'm gonna add a lip. I think I'm gonna add, this is my favorite. I don't even know if this lipstick exists. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Lip, and this is Sex on the Peach. And I'm actually just going to put it right in the middle and at the Cupid's bow. This is like the perfect nudie shade for me. I'm gonna take the liner and do more of a full line. And then over top, we're gonna go in with the same gloss. So we're basically just kind of deepening up what we already had going on. The other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this Benefit Highbrow Duo Pencil, and we're just gonna go in right underneath the brow just to highlight it, okay? And what you do is you don't wanna use too much. I put it on, and then I take this sort of detailed brush and I come right up under here and basically blend by sort of flicking it down a bit. Then I just tap it out, and you can see how it's really accentuating that brow. So this is what it looks like with these sort of romance added. And then next up we will do dramatic, my favorite. So, okay, bye. Okay, it's not as lashy as I normally would go for, but it's probably pretty lashy for most people, so I think it'll be okay. Now the lips. I almost never really go dark on my lips because I do a lot on my eyes. I do have this, which is called Perfect Plum, and it's from Odin's Eye. Let's see. It's a liquid lip. Ooh, I feel scared. All right, let's just see what's gonna happen. I don't hate that. So let's just line the lips. This has a real scent. It's scenty. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I often try not to get the corners of my mouth right away, especially if I'm not sure about the color. Okay, don't hate it. But we're actually going to take that same lip gloss and we're going to run it along the bottom. Yeah, and then into the corner. Do you see how it kind of took it down a little bit? And then I usually put my finger in down the Cupid's bow and then in my mouth like this so that I can get any excess off the inside part. And then because I have gloss and lips and everything, I'm gonna blot real quick. And then I just glossed on as much as possible. I did not even look at that brush. All right, so because this is the last look that I'm doing and I do have some other filming to do, I am gonna actually set it now. So let's set this up. Yeah, I really like it. All right, so to do the last one, I'm gonna take this wig down for a second and I'm going to take my wig brush. I'm gonna smooth this up, and then because we're doing dramatic, romantic type scenario, I'm going to show you how I would make it like sort of romantic, dramatic for an event. Okay, so I'm gonna wear this down like that. You can get this brush on my website. It's the Renee Paris wooden wig brush. I got my little clippy doos here. So I have this beautiful one that's a butterfly. I have a yellow one too. All right, let's go ahead and bring this down like this. And we're gonna put in this straight one and the butterfly. Things I like about these clips is that it also goes up underneath the cap, so it gives you just a little bit of extra security as well. Remember, this is like quick and easy. You have somewhere to be, worked all day. Ooh, I feel like these two go together. Okay, we're gonna go snake. And I wear this to special events all the time because I feel like I get so many compliments and it's so unique. I do occasionally sell them at my store, but like I don't routinely have them. I think maybe that's enough. I'm like, more is more. I just really like when you have like a bunch on one side. All right, that's what we're gonna do. I'm sitting here acting like I'm really going somewhere right now in this moment. I'm like, is this right for this event? It's a fake event, but you know what I mean. And I always like things to go out, like to curl out and not to curl in, but because of where I have, oh, there we go. I was gonna say, because of where I have this, it doesn't wanna cooperate. All right, so we're going to just comb this through, bring this into sort of a really romantic scenario here. Oh yeah. And we're gonna use our wig wax to just do it up, and then this is our glammy glam. Oh my gosh, what do you think? This is the final look. All right, so I hope you love this video on how to use one palette for special occasion looks, whether you're going from day to special occasion, whether you just want minimal, romantic, or sort of dramatic glam. You have everything in here. This is a great palette. Hopefully you loved this tutorial. Stay with us all month. We're doing sort of bridal special event related content. I hope that you enjoy it. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you have, thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.